Hi, this is Dr. Michelle Wolford, and I'm here with Brahman Kyrie, who is an incredible spiritual teacher and an advisor. She's been a wonderful addition to my life in the last 3 years, and I would just love for you to share with me and our listeners about what you provide to the community and how you are a spiritual teacher.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And it's such a blessing to be in Dr. Michelle's life. She's amazing. And so we do things called satsangs, where they're like a gathering of truth seekers. That's what satsang means, is a gathering of truth seekers, and we're there as a collective to kind of release stuff and bring in beautiful divine energy to help us clear blockages and sort of embody our souls and the pure energy of who we are. And so that's what I hope to do for the Summer Symposium, is to probably do a little bit of a chat around vibration and how we can look after our vibration, and how really, depending on what our vibration is, will determine our life, and the choices we make. And we don't have a lot of control actually around, what happens in our life. Like, getting surrendered is a really good thing, but really what we can have a part in is our vibration and what we put into our bodies and what we choose to listen to as music, and if we choose to meditate and pray and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be doing a little bit of a chat around vibration and how that, if you look after your vibration, you can change your life. And then also probably be doing about a 45-minute to an hour clearing meditation and probably blessings at the end.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about what a clearing meditation looks like.
Okay, so I'm part of a lineage. So I have a teacher, and my teacher has a teacher, and when I'm facilitating any kind of satsang or meditation, I'm connecting with that energy, and I'm breathing in and bringing in that energy to release from the group collective consciousness blockages that prevents people from living into the fullness of who they are. And so blockages in their consciousness, conscious and unconscious beliefs about themselves and life and the way life is. And once we clear that stuff and then reboot the consciousness with like higher vibrational thought forms about who I am and what I can achieve in my life. And what happens when we do this is we start to live into that. It's kind of like a reprogramming and rebooting of the consciousness.
So are we always aware of what our blockages are, or is...
No, we are not. It'd be really easy if that was the case, but we're not, and actually the most powerful part of us is our unconscious. And so, a lot of the stuff in our unconscious, some of it's really great stuff, and other parts of the unconscious isn't. And so because you can't actually think what is in your unconscious, the only way to really find out what's in there is to sort of have a look at your life and see what you're creating in your life. And as I said, if you're creating abundance and miracles everywhere, don't change anything. Do you know what I mean? Keep it the same. But if you're creating stuff that is like repetitive, and you're like, oh my God, I'm here again. Like, why am I here? And the best thing to do is to go, okay, what part of my consciousness is creating this? And let's dissolve it, and let's own it, dissolve it, and then, reprogram it in some way.
So you have a gift and a skill to help kind of look into, we'll just say, somebody's consciousness, to help them bring these unconscious thoughts into the forefront of their mind.
Yeah.
So I could be like, oh my gosh, I never get a parking spot. And even though that's probably a silly example, because I always do get a parking spot, but let's say there's something happening in somebody's life over and over again. It's like they feel like they're always dumped in relationships. They're always losing their job, or they're always the last person to be picked. I mean, I'm just trying to think of things that I hear in my practice from patients. You can pick up on, wow, this seems like a repetitive theme, and help bring that to light so that it can be diffused, it sounds like.
And cleared, and then put in, I'm loved and valued, and I always attract high vibrational people into my life, and people love and respect me. And, once you start thinking that consciously and unconsciously, and you start to create it, then life becomes really blissful.
Do you ever find that people are afraid to come in and see you?
Yeah. Because... because change in any way can be really scary, particularly that saying, I'm comfortable in my own discomfort kind of thing. Even though what we might be really comfortable in is not good, or it's uncomfortable or painful, it's familiar. And so the ego loves whatever's familiar, and we tend to stay there even though it's really painful. And so whenever anyone comes in for a healing, there's a lot of energy that comes forth for the healing, and so there's a lot of opportunity for change and transformation, and that can be really scary to the ego or the personality of the person.
So what do you do to kind of encourage somebody to still come and face those fears of familiarity and actually open themselves up to new possibilities and new realities for themselves?
Well, I give them examples of how it's transformed my life, you know, and really the truth for me is, you know, back 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I had no idea about this stuff, I couldn't understand why I was in all this pain and suffering. You know, I couldn't understand why I kept creating really bad situations in my life. And then when I got given the information, oh my God, it's the outpouring of your conscious and unconscious thoughts and beliefs. Well, that's one aspect of it. And then I started to utilize and pick up those tools. There was rapid change and transformation, but my whole life changed, and I let go of a lot of the suffering and let go of really being imprisoned by my own thoughts. And as a result, like I live an amazing life. And I used to feel I was just speaking this morning about it actually, like my own self-talk would be really bad. You know, I had a lot of self-criticism, self-judgment, and it was really painful to live inside this head of mine.
Yeah.
And after doing all that work, you know, just the healings, getting regular healings and really working with that part of, you know, myself, and that was taken away and that was changed. Like, I very rarely go to that place now of self-loathing or self-criticism. I never go there to self-loathing.
Yeah.
And my whole life is different.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So I think of patients that come in sometimes, and I mean, even in my office, they may be like, oh no, life's perfect. I'm great. My wife wants me here. Mm. So if you would have to like say one thing to really, I don't know, encourage or inspire people who don't think that they need it to come in, because I mean, I have been seeing you for 3 years. I think you're incredible. I mean, I love the work that you do. I send a lot of my patients to you because I think no matter where you are on the spectrum of life, if life is abundant and blissful, it's like wellness care. It's like fine tuning. Or if you feel like everything's just kind of in the dumps, I mean, it's like a great way to just fast track yourself to a more abundant life.
Totally.
So if you could give me like a word or a saying or like, what would you say to somebody that's like, yeah, I know my life's great, I don't know if I need it. Like, what would you say to encourage them to come in?
I'd say, would you like it to be better?
Yeah.
More great and more amazing. And, you know, like, my life is really great today. And the really good thing is, you just never know sometimes what life is going to give you, you know. And even though I practice really, you know, I practice spiritual teachings all the time, sometimes, you know, life will throw you a curveball. And I've got to say, because I do maintain my spiritual fitness, like getting healings and meditating and consciously connecting with, you know, God or love or whatever you want to call it, I'm in a much better position when life does throw a curveball,
of course,
for me to deal with it. So it's like a safety net really as well. And apart from, like, you can't, there's no end, there's no finishing point to feeling amazing, you know, like that you can always feel more connected and more content and more peaceful. And I have a lot of people like you know, that are already living abundant and amazing lives that come to me, and you just fine tune even more, and then it's like another stepping block to push off to even more greatness.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here. This is Brahman Kyrie. So please come and visit her during our Summer Wellness Symposium and sit in on our satsangs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm the one, Rainy.